right, who wants to hear about high-octane adventures and the latest and greatest on the motor scene? It's time to rev it up with John and Jess on Joy 1340.
Welcome to Rev It Up
with John and Jess, coming at you at Joy 1340 AM and 98.7 FM.
Look at the specialty with two women here today.
We like it, girl power.
Is she going to treat me better than you do?
Probably.
Yeah, well, not like much, yeah. You and I are together on this today, okay? Okay. You can't say much because Mom's here, all right? Well, why don't you introduce our special guests that we have here today?
Okay,
before
today.
I start talking to them.
Okay, today we have Bennett Nerison and his mother, Kim.
It's not Nerison? Are you sure?
Nerison.
I think it should be said that way.
Rewrite the rules.
Okay.
It's John's world, apparently, again.
Well, as long as you start to learn this, it's going to be a much better place.
Okay, right.
So I just got to tell you.
Anyway, welcome,
All right.
Bennett. Welcome, Kim.
Thank you.
So, and do you know how I got introduced to these two?
No, I don't, actually.
Okay, well, a.k.a. Big Brother Randy.
Yeah.
Works
Boone.
with Randy Boone, yes, Boone, Randy the Boone. So Randy works with her father,
Okay.
his grandpa, right?
He looks confused.
Right?
Yes.
Papa.
Do you know who Papa is? Do you know what his real name is? What's his name?
Jim.
Jim what?
What's his last
What's
name?
Grandpa's last name?
It's just Papa.
He's like, I just know him as Papa. What are you talking about?
Well, Jimmy Miller works with Randy.
Okay.
And then and I've known him for years and stuff like that. So I think it was about 2 years ago. Right?
Yeah.
This all started.
Yeah.
About 2 years ago, they said they had this little racer buddy of his, and he actually lived right on the corner from me.
Yeah, my
Yep.
dad does. Yep. They live in Germantown. That's where I was born and raised.
In Jackson by my shop. You lived there before you moved, right?
My sister did,
Your
yep.
sister did, that's right,
Yep.
yeah. So they came over and wanted if we wanted to do a sponsorship with them. And we were just starting out Motor Mania. But as you know, as you're sponsoring new racers now,
Yeah.
because you're sponsoring somebody else now this year, so we backed him up for the first year.
Cool.
And it was great. So then, this is our second year in a row with you, right?
Yeah, you bet. And Motor Mania is one of our biggest sponsors, and we're definitely glad to have you guys. So,
Oh, yeah, we love watching everything on it. So Jess is going to ask you a whole bunch of questions now. Are you ready?
Well, that's for sure a good way to set somebody up to be nervous.
Fine. You just might should I ask about World of Wheels? Did you like World of Wheels? Because you were in our display, right?
Yeah.
All right, what was your favorite part?
Seeing all the cars.
Seeing all the cars. Not the girl that was on. Not the girl that you're posing with.
You're such a pusher.
Why am I a pusher? You're
You
a
are a
pusher. How do you
pusher.
think you got here? You push yourself on me.
This joke
I'm
is
gonna-
so overplayed.
All right, I'm just gonna go on. You just go ahead.
Bennett, can you start us out by telling us how old you are?
8.
8. And when did you get started in racing?
I started going to other racetracks and
Did you like it? When you say go to other racetracks, do you mean you were watching it? And that's what started the love of racing?
yeah.
Okay. And that was like how long ago-ish? Couple
This-
years?
this will be his 4th season racing, but he started as a spectator probably when he was just a toddler. So,
Okay.
he's been around the racing community for a good portion of his life.
I'll say. Now, are you guys into racing? Like, how did you take him to the track?
Yeah, so my husband first got into the off-road scene when he was younger, and he really liked watching the races and kind of following some of his idols in the off-road community, and then he, had a son of his own, so it was like having your best friend at the track alongside with you,
cool.
and Bennett was, I have pictures of every year of him up on Dad's shoulders with the big old ear muffs on to protect his ears from the noise and watching the track. And 4 years ago, they started the 170 class for the kids, and we jumped in both feet, bought him a race car, and we've been going full throttle ever since. So
That's cool.
And for those that don't, Bennett, we call it a side-by-side, right? Or a RZR. What do you call it?
Side by side.
A side-by-side. For those who don't know what it's class or what it races. So, and how long have you been racing? When did you first learn how to drive a side-by-side?
When I was 5.
When you were 5?
Yep.
And the first time you got out on the track with her, were you a little nervous or no? You just
Kind of.
Kind of. Yeah. You're not scared anymore, though, are you?
No.
You just give her.
Do you talk any smack before you get in it?
No.
You don't throw down with words, be like, "Hey, get out there!
No.
I'm gonna smash you."
Usually his motto before he gets on the track is "Let her rip, tater chip."
Oh, I like that.
That
I like
gets
that.
him in the game. He's ready to go then.
So is it you ever doing like side betting with the thing like I'm going to beat you this race or any stuff, or I'm going to place better than you? You got a couple good buddies that you race with now, right?
No.
No.
I don't know about that. They don't really do betting because the class is from ages 6 to 12.
Sure.
So they're a little young for betting.
I don't see a problem there.
No.
But he's definitely, I mean, with starting in the class when it first came out, he's definitely built some strong friendships, and there's been a lot of kids who started when it first came out and are still going in that class. So it's been cool to watch all the kids kind of progress in skills throughout the years together. So
For sure.
You guys are an individual unit, right? You're not part of a team?
Yep, we're just Nerison Motorsports. It's just Bennett Racing right now. We hope that in the future we can add some other racers under our belt. I know my husband certainly has dreams to get in his own race car. But we don't exactly have the finances for that.
Sure.
Everything kind of gets dived into the kiddo, so making his dreams happen right now.
I can imagine that's not cheap.
It's not. I mean, it's certainly, it's, you know, a reasonable class for a family that wants to get started in the off-road racing. But, you know, you kind of get it out of it what you put into it.
Sure.
So it depends how much, you know, you want to put into it as far as money-wise and commitment and time and energy. And you know, we've really tried to commit to the program that we've built for him, and we've definitely seen it come full circle in the years that we've been in. So we've made a lot of progress since when we started to now.
I bet you both learned a lot, huh?
Oh yeah, we're constantly learning more about his machine every year.
Yeah. And how about as far as you go as far as racing, Bennett? When you first get on the track, have you learned a lot as far as safety wise and when to start and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why don't you tell them what you learned last year at Anago on your start? What happened that year?
I flipped.
Woo!
You flipped? Really? Was that your first time?
Second.
Second?
What caused you to flip?
I forgot.
That's okay. It was on the start, and the way that they start his class is they kind of line them all up in a big square, and the green flag drops, and they're all going at the
Okay.
same time. And that track, you know, really starts to narrow in pretty quick
Yeah,
for all of
for the
those
first turn,
side-by-sides. Yeah, for the first turn. So, you know, there was just too many battling for one spot, and someone got him in the front quarter panel, and someone got him in the back quarter panel, and it
spun him right over, huh?
spun him right on his top. But he really came back fighting from that race for having to wait for the safety crew to flip him back over. He finished strong.
Just right
and-
back in it?
Yeah,
That's cool.
He
So
had
you-
a good race.
You stayed racing after you flipped. You just get right back and started going.
Yeah.
Really?
That's awesome.
So does that get the old adrenaline going? And you got excited. You're kind of got you a little mad to get back out there, then, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you race in all seasons, right? Because I've seen pictures of you on the snow and on dirt track.
Yep. So we used to do ice races with a different series. Actually, it was Side by Side Sports LLC, which is put together by the Greaves family. They're a pretty big name in the off-road community.
Yep.
And they used to have an ice race up in Eagle River, and we, you know, threw on some studded tires and got them out there, and it was really cool to see them out on the ice. And unfortunately, after that race, they actually had to cancel that series.
Oh.
So now we have a set of studded tires just kind of sitting in the garage, hoping that we can get back out on the ice.
Maybe.
Never-
But-
you never know. There's a couple events that we know that people have reached us out to us for in Minnesota, and
Yeah.
the ones up in Merrill too. They go to.
Yeah, we've been trying to get some races going over by like Lake Hallie area, which is up kind of where we're from, to get some more side-by-sides out that way. But we gotta try to build up a class that's willing to travel over there. So we're working on it.
You're working on it. Keep
Yep.
going in there.
Yep.
So how, we talked a little bit about where you guys travel to prior to recording, so can you just tell everybody where you guys go for that?
Yeah, absolutely. Bennett, can you remember what tracks we go to, and I'll fill in what you miss?
Crandon, ERX, Park River, and
You did pretty good. We only missed a couple. We also go to Anago, and we go to Lena. So our first race is in Anago at the Lions Roaring Raceway. Then we go to Crandon for their brush run. And then we go to Elk River, Minnesota at ERX Motor Park. We go to Lena at Dirt City Motorplex. Then we go all the way up to the UP at Bark River International Raceway. And then we go back to Crandon International Raceway for the championship race, which is over Labor Day weekend, and that's always a good time. So
Nice. You really get around.
So Bennett, you get to travel in like some big high class motorhome and all that stuff, and you get like to sleep the whole way and all that stuff on the way to races.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be one sweet thing about not being able to drive a
Yeah.
car, that you can just sleep.
You can just sleep
and
in
relax
whatever.
and chill out while somebody else does all the driving.
Yeah, he's like,
oh yeah, he's got the iPad, he's
Snacks.
got the headrest, the snacks. He's got it made.
It's kind of like when I travel with you.
Right, totally. It's totally like a parallel universe.
I'm driving though.
Right, I know.
Yeah, okay.
I
I'm
admit
just
it.
go around. So.
Yeah. I'm well, and my blanket, and my big squishmallow.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she wakes up once in a while and says, "Are we there yet?" No, not around there yet. But you can eat. Yeah, it's either that or.
Right. Gotta have your car snacks.
So what's your favorite car snack on road trips? What do you have all the time?
I don't know.
Just
I know.
gas station snacks are the best.
Jess likes Oreos
And Brock's double dipped chocolate.
and Brock's
peanuts.
double dip chocolate peanuts.
Being in the Midwest, we love a good old Quick Trip snack. So
Yeah, quick
Yeah.
trip. Yeah,
we're usually hunting down Quick Trips and finding all the goodies, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about racing?
Going fast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
there you
it.
go. Going fast. Yeah. Do you like the competition? Like, I mean, that's fun. I mean, going fast is great, but do you like the competitiveness of racing against people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've noticed, with the 170 class, they have spotters. So I'm the spotter for him, and I'm up in the tower with our rugged radio headset on, and it's tapped into his helmet. So I've noticed, in the years of spotting for him, that when I can get him to channel in on just the car in front of him, and I say, okay, we're going to pass that car in front of you, and we take it one car at a time.
Oh, that's cool.
That really gets the
Yeah.
competitive nature going in him, and he goes and hunts
You
him
kind
down.
of got to be his mentor as he's around the track and do whatever. And does that help you out a lot
Yeah.
when you're driving when Mom does that?
That's really cool that you get
That's-
involved like that too. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, she loves
as
it. I can see
parents,
see the look in her face.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And when he makes a pass, I mean, as a parent, you're just up there,
I'd be
having your
yelling
own little
at you.
party
You'd be
dance.
screaming.
My kids would be deaf.
Yeah, your kids would be deaf.
They'd be like, knock it off, Mom.
Shut up, I can't pass. So.
Yeah.
Does Mom get loud when she talks to you? Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. No,
Yeah.
I bet that's really cool. I mean, to get involved with that and racing and stuff like that. It's just any sports or any event that your kids are involved in is great.
For sure.
So it's
And
good.
Dad's always there at the starting line. He gets them all buckled in and makes sure that his safety gear is all ready to go, and kind of gives him his pep talk before the race. And we got it down to a well-oiled machine. Everybody's kind of got their part,
For
and
sure.
it's a good family event. So
Is your schedule pretty much the same year in and year out?
for the most part, the weekends change a little bit, but usually it's kind of the same tracks in the same order each year. And usually the races are about every other weekend. So in summer, about every other weekend, we're traveling somewhere to go racing. So family and friends, sorry, we're probably at the racetrack. Don't count on us this summer.
Right.
So
And what kind of prizes do they award for the winners?
yeah, so in the 170 class, they do not get any sort of cash prizes. They do give medals out for the first top 5 finishers. The top 3 get to go and do podium speeches and kind of thank their sponsors and have a little interview. But the 170s, they're really going out there just to do it for the nature of the sport, to have fun, to learn. It's really, a learning class for those kids. So,
Yeah.
Gets experience for the next level, right?
yeah, definitely.
So, Bennett, when you go to school, how cool is it that you get to walk around with your own name on your shirt?
Cool.
It's pretty cool. No? You get a lot of friends in school that ask you about it, or they get shirts from you? They wear your shirt too?
No.
No, nobody's wearing your shirts yet?
No.
It'll happen. It'll happen
It'll
soon.
happen.
It'll
Yep.
happen soon, yeah.
Do you have any other hobbies besides racing?
No.
No time for it? You know how that goes.
We've tried lots of different sports for them. We've tried the basketball, we've tried hockey, we've tried soccer, and nothing has really stuck like racing has. So,
I don't blame you.
Once it's in their blood, it doesn't happen.
oh yeah, need for speed.
Yeah, it goes through, and that's the biggest thing. When you're, I was going to ask you about the Crandon, about the brush run. Now, that's probably one of the biggest events you go to, right? Crandon's pretty big.
Crandon's pretty big. Yep, I would say that the biggest event is probably the fall Crandon.
Yeah, that's a huge event.
That's a huge event. It's over Labor Day weekend. They do a
That's where
parade.
Janice goes there all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, she's been part of that forever. Yeah.
Yeah, make sure you tell her to look for that 170 side by side, number 12.
Oh yeah, she's definitely. Up there. when you go to a big event like that, then were you ever like intimidated or scared to race because there were so many people watching you, or no? You just kind of zone it all out and race.
Zone it all out and race.
That's what I like to hear.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I think it's really cool, you know, as his spotter. Sometimes, depending where the spotter's tower is set up compared to where, you know, all the grandstands and the spectators are watching.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can hear the crowd, and on certain races, there's no doubt that I can hear, you know, his little fan base cheering from
That's so
the
cool.
stands, and it's really cool, you know. Unfortunately, he can't hear it over all the chaos in his machine, but as a spotter, you know, we're really lucky to have a good team behind us. So
That's
awesome.
really cool. Yeah. That's. Yeah. What do you think about your fans? You go up and talk to them all the time, or you get a lot of big high fives all the time?
High fives.
A lot of high fives. Yeah. Yep. And like when we had you at the World of Wheels, you like doing shows like that too, so you can talk to everybody.
Kind of.
Kind of. It gets kind of hard after you're sitting there for 8 hours
Yeah,
talking.
it gets,
really long,
it gets a
doesn't
little
it?
boring. I think for a kid that would be really tough.
Yeah.
So you did really good.
Yeah, you did really good. It makes for a long day. It's actually longer doing that than it is racing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's when you have to walk over and visit the candy guy. That's what I did. And
Yeah,
I got-
Jess likes taking little breaks.
I do.
Yeah,
And I like my snacks.
I like your snacks too. Yeah, you do like your snacks.
you and Jess are just
Oh,
made to
we're
be
like
together.
spirit animals.
Yeah, so the next couple of shows, like, you're gonna be teaming up with Jess, and she'll show you how to
I'm like,
hang at
let's
the
go get
shows.
some
Yeah,
cinnamon
yeah.
gummy bears.
She'll be making you up those little things on your card. It says "Be back in 5."
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
brilliant idea.
No, that's good. So so as far as racing and all that stuff goes, what do you want to do after this? Where do you see yourself as you grow up? You want to be a professional racer?
Yeah.
Yeah. In dirt track, or what do you want to do?
Dirt track.
Dirt track? Yeah. That's what I figured, yeah.
Yeah, so the 170 class goes to age 12, and then the next step from there is actually a 570 side-by-side, which this year they've combined with the 1000, detuned 1000s.
Okay.
So if he goes into a detuned 1000, that's a pretty big jump. I mean, those are side-by-sides made for adults. So,
That's pretty big.
you know, I feel pretty good as a mom.
Look at the
knowing
smile on his face.
Yeah.
You're ready for that already, aren't you? Yeah.
He's ready. As a mom, you know, I get a little nervous, a little
Oh, yeah,
protective,
sure.
but you know, he's been racing for 4 years, and he's really proven that he can handle himself out there, and he can shake off the rolls, and he can shake off the bumping, and the, you know, he's proven that he's got the skills. So we're here to back him up, no matter how far he wants to go. Mom might have to get a second job though.
You gotta take care of her in the retirement years. That's all she probably asked for.
Well, I think it's also good that you're here with him as a mom, because a lot of kids come in as a boy and the dad's usually sitting here.
For sure.
Knowing that everybody's worried about the safety, and mom doesn't really like it, but we go anyways and do it. But that way, in Bennett, you're safe. Obviously, there's no broken bones, or you still have all your regular bones, right? You don't know.
Yeah.
Nothing's been replaced on you.
No.
Regular, you're still your own eyes and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Right. So we can make sure it's safe for everybody, and you can get other kids involved in the sport, and for everybody else that's listening, obviously you know that we at Motor Mania and Rev It Up back him up all the time. So if anybody's listening and wants to get involved with motorsports here and back in Little Bennett, he's always looking for another sponsor. Maybe we can see if we can get you a big corporate one day. Wouldn't that be kind of fun?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what we can do for you. So, and where can they find any videos of him or anything? You got your own page, right, for him?
Yeah, absolutely. We are pretty active on our Facebook page. So
Yeah.
if you look up Nerison Motorsports on Facebook, we try to keep our updates on there as far as our race schedule, what he's finishing. Obviously, trying to plug in our sponsors as much as we can, because we couldn't do our program without them. But yeah, we try to post, some fun interactive stuff on there. We also have an Instagram page, which is nerison.motorsports, as well as a TikTok, which is under my name, Kim Nerison. So yeah, we try to post as much as we can on there. This last year, we had a friend that posts some YouTube videos, and we've shared the links to those.
I've seen a couple of those.
Yeah, so it's super cool. Each race we've had kind of different angles with the GoPro. So we've had it from, Bennett's perspective looking looking out. We've had it inside the car, and you can see how much those little guys are just bouncing around in those off-road courses.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's super cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And we should probably note that Nerison is spelled Nerison.
For
Yes.
those
Clear.
that can't spell.
Right, John.
Yeah. Why is that funny to you?
Because we were joking about it actually before you got here about
Remember I
how
told you a story
terrible-
about how I was nervous at a
Speller.
spelling bee one time?
Yeah, that made me laugh. Can you
Did
just
ever
say that really
did-
quick?
did you
Because
ever
that's
do-
the best story.
Have you ever been? They don't do spelling bees anymore, right? They don't have them for kids anymore, really.
No, I think they kind of just do spelling tests, right, Bennett?
Yeah.
So
I'm already
as
laughing at
everybody
this
knows that.
one.
You know I make fun of myself all the time, right? Because you have to, because it makes it funny. So I remember when way back in the day when Star Wars was a big thing when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And then back in the day, you used to cut those little UPC labels off there, so they're action figures, right?
Yeah.
So, even though I was into motorsports, yes, I had Star Wars stuff. I didn't know it was kind of geeky stuff. Anyways, just love this
I'm
story.
already laughing because it's hilarious.
So anyways, so I had to do a spelling bee, and we went to a Lutheran school, Trinity Lutheran, all that stuff, because my older brothers, I couldn't go to a public school because they were bad, and I had to be, projected to that. So anyways, I was in a spelling bee, and I got the first 3 rounds. I could spell it. I mean, I'm still really good at it. And I don't know why I got nervous. Well, I mean, just because I didn't say I couldn't spell Nerison. I just didn't like saying it that way.
You just couldn't say it correctly.
So they asked me to spell action. You know how to spell action, right?
No.
Can you spell action?
No.
Can you
He's
spell
like,
it?
oh man, pressure on.
I know, right? That's like a spelling bee.
All right,
ACTION. Action.
Yep. So,
Mr. Action Figure
big dummy
lover
over here,
guy.
that action lover guy. I got nervous because I was looking at some girl, of course, because she was on the thing. Look at your laughing now. This is how dumb it is. Watch out for the girls. They'll really screw you up. Just concentrate on racing. So, anyways, I spelled action in front of this whole gymnasium. ACSHUN. And I spelled it wrong. And everybody, like my teacher looked at me, my mom was in the front row. She went like this. Like, what are you doing? And he's like, and they're like, is that the final answer? And I kept looking at this girl, and I'm like, yeah, it's the final answer.
I mean,
But,
phonetically, you kind of got it.
I mean, I was made fun of my whole life for that. After that, it was great. So I won't say the girl's name, but she.
Action.
Yeah. See, there's a saying. A lot of people yell at me for being on time. It's called Bagley time, as your papa will tell you. I said, if the whole world would be on Bagley time, it'd be a lot better place. I'm going to write a book on how to say words. If everybody would spell words like Bagley's do, it'd be a lot better.
Action.
We'll stick your teaching to Altoona Elementary
So-
School. All right?
Right.
So now, if we look on your Facebook or website pages, is your report cards or anything on there, so we can see how you're doing as grades wise, as sponsors, we can check up on you.
No.
All right. Can we get those? Can we get copies of those?
Sure.
He's confident. He's like, I got this.
Yeah. Are you a good student?
Yeah.
There you go. All right. What's your favorite subject?
Science.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's cool.
There you go. Very cool.
The other day, I caught him singing the Bill Nye the Science Guy tune in the car, and I'm
there you go.
like, man,
Really?
that guy's still around making videos. It's
He's
crazy.
been around forever. Bill Nye's still around. It's kind of like Bob Ross.
Bob Ross is no longer with us, unfortunately.
I know, but still, he's been around.
Oh yeah, we do love Bob Ross. I thought I saw that Owen Wilson was doing.
They're making a movie about him. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be nice
good.
and calming.
So if they ever do a movie about you, who's gonna play you in a movie?
I don't know.
All right. So what's the goal for this year? Win as much as you can.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
Yeah.
What's the most favorite track you want to race at?
Crandon.
Crandon. Yeah.
What do you like about Crandon?
Is it bigger than the other ones?
Yeah.
Is there more like twisty turn
Yeah.
things? Do they have like jumps?
Yeah.
And how long does the average race take?
So usually for the 170 class, I think they give them about, is it 8 minutes?
10.
10
I'm pretty
minutes?
sure.
It kind of just depends on the race, If they have a caution, it kind of, throws a wrench into things. And when we first started, they went off of laps. They kind of got a certain number of laps. Now they've kind of adjusted that to track time. So, unfortunately, if there's a crash that race, you're kind of getting less laps around the track because they got to, make sure everyone's safe and okay. But, I can
roll.
I can tell you as a spotter up there, sometimes you're up there and you're like, man, when is this race going to end? Because you're just constantly, you know, that adrenaline's going. You're on the edge of your seat.
It's a long 10 minutes, isn't
For
it?
sure.
Yeah.
It feels like forever. So
Does it feel like it's a long time when you're racing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you start racing, what's sore when you get out of the car? Are you tired or anything? Like, is your legs for hitting the gas or brakes or arms for steering or what is it?
Arms.
Arms for the steering? Yeah. That's
usually he
bad.
complains about his head. I mean, they have a helmet and they have a neck restraint and,
Yeah.
you know, they got a full containment type seat, but they're bouncing around a lot on those off-road courses for those little guys. And, you know, the suspension, the 170 class, everything is stock. So
Oh, I know.
there's no
I've seen
extra
it being
suspension there. So, you know, usually he's coming off and he's taking that helmet off and he's just like, oh, my head. But usually as long as we had a good finish, that goes away pretty quick off
That's
of his
awesome.
high of, you know, a good race. So
Well, as we're winding down here, do you want to give a quick shout out to your sponsors?
absolutely. We've been super fortunate this year to have some great sponsors backing us up. Obviously, we got to give our huge shout out to Motor Mania. You know, they've been a huge backing for us this year. They've got us on the podcast here for Rev It Up, and they got us into the world of wheels, and we're definitely hoping to hit up some more events. They have lots of
We're
stuff
just getting
coming
started
up.
with you.
Oh, yeah. We also have Stadelman's Landscaping Inc., Advanced Asphalt, Bailing Racing Equipment, Wabam, Launch Car Wash Company, Northern Timber Creations, Redline Design and Sign, Eau Claire Pet Care, Lexi's Doxies, Tori Joe Photography, Rugged Radios, FXR Racing, and then we have lots of family and friends that we got to, you know, thank for their support. We have Brian Bell, John and Millie Lieber, Papa and Grandma Miller, and then, of course, Mom and Dad's bank account.
Yay!
Oh, look at that.
Thanks to everybody that supports. That's awesome.
Well, that's great. Well, we're glad to have you on here anytime, and we'll probably do another show with you later on in the season to see how see how everything turned out. All right?
Okay.
Are you
luck to you.
Are you to come back in one piece?
Yeah.
All right, thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank
All right,
you.
all right.
Till
Thanks
next
for watching,
time.
everybody. Thanks for